Here with head coach Robert Talley heading into tomorrow's Northeast 10 championship at AIC. Coach, obviously it has to sound pretty good to be talking about going into a championship game tomorrow and just what that means for the program and the progress you guys have made.
I think it's huge. I think at the beginning of the year, I think everyone in our conference kind of set that out as their goal. They want to make sure they're in the championship game. And we feel we're in a really competitive conference. So for us to be one of those two teams representing the conference in that game is really good for us in the program, especially considering we were picked to finish seventh. Obviously something that we didn't necessarily agree with, but that's what we were picked in the preseason rankings, and now to finish tied for first. That's I want to say we feel good about ourselves. We're pretty proud of that fact.
Talk about that being picked seventh in the preseason. Every coach says, it's where you finished and all of that. But you guys, how much did you guys use that a little bit? Maybe light a fire under the guys, maybe when it came out, or before a big game or something like that.
I think our players kind of you looked at it, especially there were a couple of teams that were ranked ahead of us that the year before that we had beaten. So it was definitely. I think just getting to the point where we still haven't earned the respect that we feel we deserve, and you can't really do anything about it. You just have to go and try to prove people wrong. So it just gave us a little more focus during preseason as to exactly what the expectations were from outside. But from inside, our expectations are pretty high.
Let's go back to last week at Merrimack. Am I overstating it by saying that's the best defensive performance you've had in your time here? To hold them to 14 points, 200 yards under their average.
Well, exactly, especially versus a team like that. I mean, it's probably not the best we played, but versus a talented team like that and the numbers they've been putting up against everybody in the conference, for us to be able to do that and really slow them down as much as we did is really a testament to. I think the development of our defense over the year. I think our defensive staff has done a great job kind of mixing and matching different pieces. We've been a little banged up over there, and just whoever's been up next, they've really been able to get them to perform at their highest level.
So many defensive players stood up, had big games. I think I'd like to start with on your defensive line. Taylor Russell's a junior. He's really kind of one of your, now with Darion Schneider back, two upperclassmen on that defensive line. Not only talk about his game Saturday, which certainly filled the stat sheet and whatnot, but what he's done and held that defensive line for you guys all year.
Well, he's been the one constant up there. With the amount of people that have gotten hurt, especially with as many freshmen playing. He's really been the one constant, keeping those guys going, keeping them focused. Has a great idea from an assignment standpoint, and I don't think he's come close to reaching his potential yet either. So we're pretty excited about when he gets to the point where he's just wrecking havoc on each and every play, because right now he's getting pretty close to that.
Darion Schneider had also a strong game. Had an injury mid-season, really kind of working himself back now. Talk about him finally being fully back.
The great thing about Schneider is he had an injury. Could have had season-ending surgery at the middle of the year. Said he kind of wanted to wait it out, see what happened the last couple of weeks, and he was like, Coach, if we have any kind of contention or any kind of way, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to play. And I think second year in a row, he's kind of surprised the doctors where they've said, okay, you're going to be out, 6 to 8 weeks, and he's come back in 4 weeks on both times. So definitely one of the best defensive linemen in the league. He can pass rush. He has great instincts out there. Having him back is just a huge plus for us because it gives us a way to get some pressure on without having to blitz, without having to send an extra guy. He's really hard to block one-on-one.
Sterry Codrington, Defensive Player of the Week, kind of got shifted around there in the game on Saturday, but talk about his season and to me one of the best open field tackles I think you have on your team, and it's just really remarkable how he makes a play in the open field.
But the biggest thing with Sterry is I believe he's just a really good football player. He has really good sense. I mean, we play him at corner. We play him as our inside inside linebacker on nickel situations. And we play him at safety too. So just able to play bunch of different fields. Definitely a playmaker for us back there. He's able to get to the football. Really short tackler. I think it's because he's so aggressive. He's confident in what he's doing, and we knew we had a good one in him, and it was just a matter of can he just keep on coming along, and he has. I mean, mentally he's just so sharp. He knows what he's doing, and he's really jumped into a more of a leadership role on that side of the ball.
You were down your special teams, especially the early half of the year, and they really seem to be coming into their own now at a good time. Two players. First off, Paul Pickerill kept I don't know if you're aware, a streak alive of nine straight years the teams had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and probably not the person you would have picked to get it at the beginning of the year, but in a big time on Saturday to keep that lead where it was.
Well, I think the biggest thing with our special teams is special teams. You hope we're going to get better as you go, especially when you look at them. There's so many freshmen, so many first-time guys playing on special teams. The first time you use any eligibility, a lot of those guys have been on special teams. So there's definitely going to be a learning curve there. And with each game, they've gotten a little bit better. And probably our biggest problem is we weren't very aggressive. Where we're being a lot more aggressive in our coverage, our return unit. So that's really helping. And I think it's just a testament to really all our units to see a guy like Paul, who's just done nothing but continue to work hard every day at practice, give his all, and just be willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And I told him he was going to help this team out. As we went through the season, and we had a real good game from a receiving standpoint against Southern, and now he has a real big game from a return standpoint against Merrimack. So he's definitely a guy we were counting on to have some big plays. So I'm not overly surprised. He came up to me afterwards and said, "Coach, you didn't know I was that fast," and both of those guys had angles on him, and he was able to run by him.
He plays kicker Steve Griswack. Rough start to the year. Again, has steadily improved. Got you guys off to a good start with a 45-yard field goal, which is the longest in 3 years by the program. Just talk about how he's steadily gotten back to where he was as a freshman.
Well, I think the biggest thing, with him was he struggled early on. Some of it was his fault, some of it wasn't. We had some bad holding, we had some bad protection, some things that will probably get in the kicker's head that wasn't necessarily his doing. But he's been steady. We've also helped him a little bit from a practice standpoint. We're working on stuff a little more with him, especially in team settings. Putting him in situations where, whether it be for conditioning or making sure there's something on each field goal he kicks. So giving him a little more pressure. So he's definitely handled it. He's got better. And when we talked to him out and we put a little pressure on him, we said, we need him to do a better job there. And he's the guy we believed in that could get it done. And he's shown why we had that belief in him.
Certainly a lot of talk last week. Your quarterback Logan went down the week before. Joe Delvecchia stepped in and got his first career start against Merrimack. What did he do well? Just obviously manage the game and in that role where obviously a lot of pressure on the line for him.
Well, I think the biggest thing he did was there was no panic in Joe. I think it goes with his personality. You could tell the situation wasn't too big for him, and he was ready for it. He prepared like crazy, throughout the week. So he was ready for the opportunity. And I think if you really take away one bad throw, I'd say he played an outstanding game. So really made really good decisions. Once he started getting more and more comfortable in the pocket, he definitely started seeing him being able to move and find a second and third receiver. So we're excited about him. It's good to know we have a back, we have a guy too. If someone wants to go down, that's won a big game for us versus good aggressive defense. So we're really excited about his play.
Lastly, Colin Marcus, another 100-yard game, really has taken on that role and really steady rushing the ball, giving you guys that ball control that you need.
I think two things. One thing, I think the offensive line is doing a great job. We were on them early in the year about finishing off blocks, and so now we're getting more of that. They're working well together. To me, Lucas Brum at center and Tommy Linden at our left tackle have really provided some great leadership for that group up front. And they're open some holes. And he's just real elusive, has great vision. So if you give him a crack, he's going to get through it. If you give him a hole, he's going to break it for 20 yards. So he's definitely a guy. Once again, we're not surprised on how good he's doing because we knew what we had, at the end of last year and going into preseason. It's just, he got nicked up in preseason and, Jamal Johnson, started off so hot, so he wasn't able to get the ball as much early. But we're excited about him. We'll need him this weekend. So we'll need to be able to run the football.
Talk about the running back position as a whole, how important it is to be deep there. I think we've kind of talked about this before. Just, you probably can't, it's probably tough to rely on one running back to get through 10, 11, 12 games through a year, just the natural wear and tear on the body. Just, Colin, technically, I guess he's your third guy in line this year, and he's, now rushed for over 700 yards and whatnot. And
we felt real fortunate with our depth at running back, coming into the season, what we had last year, where we got, when Colin and Deontay Ramido, we got two guys with really good backs, and we knew we had Justin, we knew we had Jamal, so we knew depth wouldn't be an issue. And then now it's just a matter of, once again, trying to keep him healthy. But then when you're trying to run the football, and that's definitely something we're trying to do here, is we want to be able to run the football. Those guys are going to take some shots. So the deeper you can be, the better. And once again, I think each kid that's been in that role has really stepped up and really kind of, taken that leadership from a running standpoint and said, okay, you can count on me to carry the workload here.
I had a chance this week to feature Nate Robitaille, your wide receiver. Certainly, what records he hasn't broken already. He's certainly close to a bunch of others, especially on the career side. What's he brought to your team offensively, just as a skill player that really teams have to be aware of?
Well, I think the biggest thing with him is a guy that when he catches the ball, he can go all the way. So whether it's a 5-yard catch, whether it's a 10-yard catch, he has the speed, he has the elusiveness. He can take it the distance. So I think that's the biggest thing. He's athletic enough. He played quarterback in high school. So he had to run around a decent amount there. So he's used to having to create stuff on his own. So I think in the open field, it's really tough to kind of zero in on him. And once again, I still think he's a guy that's learning to play the wide receiver position. So to me, with the end of the year here and another spring, he's just going to keep on getting better. And those records, if we're able to get a good replacement for Logan and someone's able to throw a ball down the field, they're going to have some great success with Nate at receiver.
Looking at tomorrow, just talk about the overall excitement around the team and this opportunity tomorrow, not only just playing for a conference championship, but also the added carrot of probably the winner tomorrow is going to the NCAA tournament. Certainly for this program, it would be a first ever for that aspect. Just, I guess, overall this week, excitement around the team and looking forward to that.
Well, I think everybody's, the whole team's excited. As I said, they're proud of this college. I think first and foremost, we're excited about the opportunity to play ASC because we really played bad the first time against them. So it gives us an opportunity to show that we're better than we were the first time around. So we're excited about it from that aspect. And then there's so many other things laying out there. The conference championship game, being able to represent the team and wanting to play well. Wanted to represent our alums that are out there, which I think there'll be a bunch of them at the game. So we're proud to be able to be playing for them. And then I think everybody, once again, at the beginning of the year, wants to play in the postseason. Wants a chance to be a national champion. And to me, the only way you get a chance to do that is you got to win this game. So there's definitely a lot of things on the line. I think there'll be a lot of excitement. I think we'll have a lot of energy. Now, to me, it's a matter of being efficient, and it's about a matter of executing and doing the little things that have gotten us to this game.
AIC, obviously, I don't know where you start, but I guess we'll start on the offensive side. Their quarterback, Kevin Arduino, good passer, but he's also, like you mentioned earlier in the week, one of the best running backs in the league as a quarterback.
I think he's built like a linebacker or a tight end. He probably could play either one of those positions. And he's athletic enough where he's elusive. He can get out of the pocket. He can create his own stuff. But then he can drop back and throw the ball, 60, 70 yards down the field. So he's obviously a great, a huge threat. It's kind of one of those things you need to slow him down. You're not going to completely stop him, but you just need to be able to slow him down, give him some different looks, get him to make some mistakes, get the ball turned over. So those are things we're trying to aim to do with him because he's such a good football player, and he's surrounded by great skill around him. So with a real big offensive line, so a whole bunch of things we have to contend with.
Defensively here in October, they were really able to eliminate the run game for you guys on defense. Talk about their defense and what you guys are going to need to do to I guess reverse that a little bit and get some semblance of a running game.
Well, I think the big thing we're going to have to finish blocks. We talked about that was a big thing coming out of the first time we played them. They were great as far as disengaging, getting off blocks where initially it looked like we would have something, but then someone would get off a block and make a play. So we need to finish blocks. We have to get them done, and and when we get opportunities, we have to make sure we take advantage of them. When we get a chance to make a big play, we need to convert on that big play. So very aggressive defense. They'll be moving all over the place. Once again, we have to take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves.
What overall? I mean, you touched on a couple things. What's going to change from the game in October tomorrow to be able to win this game?
Well, that was the one game where, unlike ourselves, we had a lot of penalties that game. So to me, we really hurt ourselves in that game. We had some turnovers and we didn't get any turnovers. So to me, just the little things, and we had to be able to run the football. And defensively on third down, we were terrible. We were terrible on third down versus them. When we got them in some third down situations, some third and long situations, and we have to get off the field. And two of those third downs were in the red zone. That led to touchdowns. So to me, all the little basic things, third down, running the ball, stopping the run, and then continue to be efficient in the red zone is going to be a huge part of the game.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations on being regular season champions, and let's try to finish it off tomorrow with another win.
Thank you very much.